Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. There hasn't really been much of a motorsport silly season so far. A few teams here and there have been announcing changes for the coming year, but there's really only been news that makes me go, nothing that makes me go, wow. That is until the announcement that Maserati will be coming to Formula E next year, the brand that motorsport forgot. One of the all-time greats is making a return to the circuit. That's along with the possibility that McLaren joining the grid in the same year, along with all the other top teams already making up the Formula E grid. Now, electric vehicles seem to be the future, and obviously every manufacturer and race series wants a piece of that action, mostly for marketing purposes. But Maserati, they're not a car brand you hear from much these days. They have a few models for sale, and seem to be releasing a lot of electric models in the near future, as all brands are. And maybe it is this that has spurned the urge to enter the top electric single-seater series. It's just nice to see the Trident on a racing grid again. Back in the olden days of black and white video and polio, Maserati were one of the kings of motorsport. Before the Second World War, there was a lot of success, including at the Targa Florio and some early victories in the Indy 500. That included some success for the Maserati brothers themselves. The 5 Maserati brothers who started the company were all racers. After the war, Maserati turned to the newly formed Formula 1 World Championship, and the 4 CLT took their first podium in 1950 with Louis Chiron. Maserati returned full-time in 1953 with the A6 GMC, and the first GOAT of Formula 1, Juan Manuel Fangio, took their first win at Monza. Fangio would take 2 more wins in 1954 and would win the championship, but spent most of the year in a Mercedes. In 1955, Maserati with the 250F lost out to the dominance of Mercedes, something which should sound familiar to modern fans, and even though Stirling Moss took a couple of wins in 1956, Juan Manuel Fangio took the championship for Ferrari. Fangio returned to Maserati for 1957 and the stars aligned and he won his final championship. And you would imagine Maserati would really kick on from there, but after the death of a couple of drivers and some spectators in the 1957 Mile Miglia, and Maserati also struggling with financial issues, meant despite the 250F still having success for another couple of years, Maserati left as a manufacturer. They continued to supply private teams for a while after. John Surtees and Pedro Rodriguez took a win each in Cooper Maseratis in 1966 and 1967 respectively, before the final appearance in Formula 1 for a Maserati engine at Monaco in 1969. Where Vic Elford in an antique automobiles racing team Cooper Maserati qualified last of 16 and finished last of 7 finishers, 6 laps down. No Maserati anything has appeared in Formula 1 since, and that was 53 years ago. Maserati also had success in sports car racing, mostly in the 1950s, but never in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. They won at Sebring and the Nürburgring amongst others, but since the 1950s, not a lot of Maseratis have taken to the various motorsport grids around the world. You occasionally have a brief appearance in things like touring cars, such as the bi-turbo driven by Nick May in the British touring cars in the late 80s, but nothing really solid. That was until Maserati released the MC12 supercar. This car had a lot of success in GT racing. The Vitaphone racing team took the MC12 to 5 consecutive FIA GT World Championships between 2005 and 2009, as well as the inaugural GT1 Championship in 2010. But again, there was no follow-up and Maserati went back for a long sleep. This has a lot to do with the many times the company has changed hands since the 1950s. The Maserati brothers themselves sold the company in 1937 and were gone completely by 1947 to start up Oscar. Citroën bought the company in the late 60s, they passed it on to Alejandro De Tomaso of Pantera fame, with the help of the Italian government, before he sold it to Fiat in 1993. A few years later, Ferrari bought a chunk of the company, and then they were paired with Alfa Romeo. And then in 2021, when Fiat merged with the PSA Group, Maserati now, along with many other marquees, including Citroën funnily enough, come under the Stellantis umbrella. They're probably more secure now than they have been for most of their history, and maybe it's time to head back into motorsport. That being said, Formula E is a strange choice. Yes, there are a lot of Maserati electric cars coming in the future, including an electric version of the upcoming MC20, which looks great. Another Stellantis brand already exists in Formula E, DS Automobiles with the Techeetah team, who have had a lot of success up to now. So is this a sign that Stellantis want 2 brands in Formula E, or will Techeetah need to start looking for another manufacturer to partner with? If they do need to, then surely McLaren wouldn't mind a technical partnership of some kind, but the Chinese brand may look closer to home or give up entirely. Maserati will be the first Italian brand in Formula E, and hopefully they'll be blue rather than red, because even though there were famous Formula 1 cars were red, there is a lot of red cars in Formula E, and I want that blue. No drivers named as yet. If you want an Italian, then why not Antonio Giovinazzi from Dragon? Maybe partnered with an experienced hand like Lucas Di Grassi. We will have to wait and see. It's just good to see the Trident taking to the track, and I can't wait to see how the 2023 Formula E grid pans out. So are you excited for the return of Maserati? Are there any other teams or companies you want to see involved in Formula E? Let me know in the comments below. Honestly, most of the news has been coming from the World Endurance Championship, and whilst I'm excited for Peugeot, they're only turning up for selected rounds, and Ferrari, Porsche and Audi are still waiting in the rings. Make sure you subscribe for more motorsport content. This year's Formula E season kicks off soon, so look out for my predictions and livery reviews coming out soon. Leave a like and tell your friends. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.